This is the man who composed our music. We are eternally grateful to him. You may leave now. Okay.
Greetings and Merry Christmas. This is the latest episode of CVCVLockdown. As you can see, we have a bit of a theme going on. There are a few points to address before we get on with this. First of all, yes, that's right. Josh has disappeared and he's been replaced by this penguin. That will remain the case for the rest of the episode. We hope he'll be back with us next week. Secondly, yes, I'm the one talking. Well, this is because this is a rather special episode of CVCVLockdown in that the cast and the crew have swapped around. So now the crew, that's Mary and Martin, are going to be attempting to narrate a story for you guys, which you chose given the polls last week. And I, as the cast, I'm going to be inputting random suggestions that the crew are then going to have to improvise into the narrative. It's all the magic of CVC, the stage show. Thank you, Mary. That's the noise she makes when she's excited. And all online. Now, the fairy tale that we are going to be narrating this week is the Fairytale of New York, because the people who watch our videos are sick and want to see us suffer. So, I'm going to be giving the suggestions by raising this penguin aloft and shouting at the crew who are going to try and narrate the Fairytale of New York. Crew, are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Good. In which case, Fairytale of New York, take it away.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away from where we are right now, America, there was a man in a bar. It was Christmas Eve. And sat next to him was an old man. And he turned to him and said, "I'm not going to see another one." And then he sang a song, "The Rare Old Mountain Dew." And I turned my face away. No, I'm not me. I'm not me. I'm the man. Oh, this is.
You're reading the lyrics, aren't you?
I am reading the lyrics. Yes. Was it that obvious? Let's
Yes,
start
it was.
again. Okay.
All right, stop. Suggestion time. 3 elephants walk into the bar.
3 elephants walked into the bar, covered in snow because it was Christmas Eve, and they were singing Christmas songs and gushing about the Broadway show they'd just seen. And the man remembered a woman he once knew, who was also potentially a Broadway star. And he thought back to many years ago when he met a beautiful woman who had just moved to New York. And he saw her in the streets and he stopped her and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, I just have to tell you, I think you would make an incredible Broadway star, and I'm looking to hire just such a woman, and I think I could make all your dreams come true. Will you come and work for me?" And she was gobsmacked.
The woman
She said,
was from Wales.
I can't do a Welsh accent.
Try.
What do Welsh people sound like?
It doesn't matter. Just try. She's from Wales.
I'm from
Okay,
Wales, she said.
She's
But
originally
didn't sound
from
like
Wales.
it.
No, she's originally from Wales, but she went to secondary school in northern Italy.
Oh, that's a weird accent. That's a bit
Forget
of
the
everything.
Welsh. She's just Italian.
Buongiorno, she said. To the man who had offered her this wonderful career in Broadway. I don't know any more Italian. I would be very grateful for this job. Thank you. And the man said, "Yay! Okay, let's go to the theatre where I do Broadway." They got there and he auditioned her in front of the panel of directors who happened to conveniently be convened that day for the auditions for said Broadway show. She stunned them. It turns out that being Italian, she was naturally very good at singing, apparently, because that's a thing that everyone knows. And it was amazing. So now she's the star of a musical, and she was very grateful. And as to celebrate, he went, "Let's go out. It's Christmas Eve. Let's go to a bar and have a drink."
Stop suggestion. In this town, the cars are as big as bars, but the bars are as big as cars.
So they ran across the street trying to dodge these gigantic cars, which were just ploughing down pedestrians left and right. It was really rather terrifying. And they crammed themselves into the tiniest bar they could find because they were all tiny. And the drunks in the neighbouring bars, because there's no room for more than 5 in any particular bar, but they're so close together that you can hear them all. They were all singing, and somewhere, maybe 3 car bars over, someone was playing Frank Sinatra, and they were having a wonderful evening. But, you know, they were getting pins and needles in their feet. There's really not that much room. So they went out and they were dancing through the streets and kissing in the rain because the snow had turned to rain, which it tends to do. And
at which point, without any forewarning, the woman was literally crowned Queen of New York City.
So it turns out that New York City had declared itself an independent state from the United States of America. The city, not the state that it said, just New York City, and became its own country with a monarchy. This lady, who was now a Broadway star and also Queen of New York City, because that's a thing that happens to you all in one day on Christmas Eve. This is a fairy tale. Wishes do come true. Yeah, so as Queen of New York City, her first declaration was to make all the rivers gold. I am disrupting myself.
You are a bit,
The population of New York was confused by this suggestion because that is a lot of gold. But by doing so, it would make New York the wealthiest country probably in the world.
Okay, pause. Given now that apparently maybe it's true, New York is now the wealthiest country in the world. Another very wealthy country, the United Arab Emirates, became insanely jealous and declared war on New York.
So, with this new war, the newfound Queen of New York City had to give up her job on Broadway to fully manage the negotiations between the country of New York City and the United Arab Emirates. And she was absolutely gutted. She had come to this country just wanting to find a nice job, and now here she was, head of a new sovereignty, trying to manage horrific warfare. And obviously, she didn't know who else to blame it on. I mean, she didn't know who had nominated her to be queen or how she got the role, so she turned to the one person she knew she could blame, the man who had found her in the first place. And so they got into a huge row, and she was insulting him, and he insulted her back, but significantly worse than anything she had said to him. And she was outraged.
Suggestion. At which point, midway through the fight, the leader of the United Arab Emirates, who spoke, and I cannot stress this enough, perfect English, approached and said, "Look, there's only one way we can resolve this conflict. We want to hear someone sing Galway Bay."
Okay, so the leader of the United Arab Emirates came to the Queen of New York City and said, "We need anybody to sing Galway Bay, and that will solve all of our problems. We will no longer be angry at you, we will no longer be jealous, and we will all be friends again." But she didn't know any choirs, or anyone, in fact, except for this one man, who it's known cannot sing. But she turned to him and she went, you got me the audition on Broadway. You must know singers. And he said, "Yes, you know what? I know just the choir. We can get all of the New York Police Department together in one massive choir, and we can surround New York and we can sing out to the entire world, and that will appease all of our enemies, specifically the UAE, apparently. And that should work." So he got to work. It took several days to coordinate the entire NYPD, as I imagine crime goes up when you start a monarchy in a city and declare an independent nation from the rest of the country it was originally part of. It took many days, and they had to kind of, and we'll have to kind of get everyone together to do it. I don't know. How do you arrange an entire New York police department? All of them, all of the different precincts. There must be at least 99. Brooklyn Nine-Nine can lie to us. And so they did. They lined up all of the police officers, detectives, and other various people that work in police departments around the perimeter of New York City and began to sing Go Away Bay loudly. And the leader of the UAA went, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I was looking for. Meanwhile, the man and the Queen had still not resolved their argument. They were still bitterly angry with each other, and now the immediate disaster of war was thwarted by the singing of Go Away Bay. They went back to their argument, and they couldn't resolve it. They couldn't resolve their differences because she was now queen of a country, and he was wanting too much of her time on Broadway, and she wanted to be on Broadway, but she couldn't, and they couldn't resolve this problem of time management. And so, sadly, they decided they had to part ways. Now on probably Boxing Day, which isn't a thing in America, but now it is because there's a queen. That's not how Boxing Days work.
But they had sweet memories of each other, bittersweet memories, so they gave each other a parting gift each to remember their time. A bucket of gold from the river and a bar-sized car.
Now, the thing was that the bucket of gold from the river was not actually that valuable because there are literal rivers of it. But the bar-sized cars were quite good because they're very effective for getting around town nice and quickly, which meant that the Queen could visit all her sovereignty and the man could drown his sorrows by visiting the various car-sized bars. And so off they went their separate ways, and he ended up, as at the beginning, in the bar with the old man who was singing Rare Old Mountain Dew, and he realised that he genuinely did love the woman. And so he went out to seek her again, and hopefully they all lived happily ever
after.
Very good. Very good. Fantastic. I think we can agree the crew did a phenomenal job of navigating that really quite horrendous suggestion. Nice work, guys. Nice work indeed. All right, well, that's it for this week's episode of CVCV Lockdown. Make sure that you let us know which story you'd like to see next week by commenting on the Facebook post or on the Instagram quiz. From us, that's it this week. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay distant, and stay smiling. Thanks very much. Goodbye.
Bye. All right, Chewbacca.